You hear these terms, risk assessment, JHA, JSA, getting tossed around, sometimes all in the same meeting, and it's easy to think it's just different safety jargon for the same old form. But here's the thing, they're not. And knowing the difference isn't just about paperwork, it's about running a genuinely safe and efficient site. The first thing to get your head around is that your safety program isn't just one document. It's a whole system with connected layers. These tools aren't interchangeable. They're meant to work together, protecting your crew from different angles. So let's start at the top with the risk assessment. It's the big safety umbrella for your entire project. It's where you take a step back and ask the big question. What are the major hazards across this entire operation? We're talking about the whole system here, not just one little task. So let's build on that idea. Why do we even do this big picture assessment? Well, it's all about managing those systemic risks, the kinds of hazards that could affect multiple crews or tasks across the board. It's about setting the foundational safety rules for the whole site before you even think about starting a specific job. A risk assessment that's just handed down from an office, for it to be effective, it has to be a team effort. You've got to involve the people who are actually doing the work. A plan that just sits in a binder is a paperweight. A plan that's a living, breathing part of your site's culture is what actually saves lives. And this table just lays it out perfectly. A risk assessment is your broad safety umbrella. A JHA, or a job hazard analysis, is like a step-by-step recipe for a very specific task. The risk assessment asks, what are the big risks here? The JHA asks, okay, for this one job, what can go wrong at every single step? One is your strategy, the other is your execution plan. Now, a job safety analysis, or JSA, and yet people use JHA and JSA pretty much interchangeably, is a really structured process. It's simple. You pick a job, usually a high-risk one, you break it down into easy-to-follow steps, then you figure out the hazards for each of those steps, and finally you come up with a specific control for every single one of those hazards. It's clear, it's tactical, and it's built for the field. Let me give you a perfect real-world example. Your site-wide risk assessment flags working at height as a major hazard. That's your big umbrella. So when it's time to do a specific roof repair, you create a JSA for that job. It's going to spell out exactly how to set up the ladder, what kind of fall protection you need, and precisely what the rescue plan is. See how they work together? The big picture informs the tiny details. We know the definitions now, but how do we make sure these documents aren't just another piece of paper to sign and forget? How do we make them live and breathe when things are moving fast on site? This is really what separates a real safety tool from a paperwork exercise. The biggest mistake? Being too generic. That's when your crew starts rolling their eyes because they know it's just busy work, or worse, just copying yesterday's form for today's job without even checking if the conditions have changed. If the controls aren't actually practical, or if nobody is responsible for making sure they happen, then the document has already failed. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Is our safety plan just a document we review and sign? Or is it a living, breathing experience that we actually train for? The tools are here to make safety training more engaging and way more effective than ever. The only real question is, are we ready to use them?